everybody, welcome to another episode of Pokémonsters Mini. That is a special, as you can tell. Oh, you won't believe. While I'm recording this, you won't believe how lucky, how excited, how happy I am that the second stage evolutions for the starter Pokemon, for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, were not announced, because I could actually do this. So I like a bit of mystery. I like details, but I like to be going into something blind as well. I mean, to be fair, what was shown us was a Giraffe Rig evolution and a frog with misleading eyes. It actually looks like Polito's evolution, so I'm very curious to see if they are going to use more beta sprites, like, you know, designed from those and then put them into the newer games in a new form. But yes, I am preparing for a Let's Play series for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but I'm also trying to get multiple projects done, so this video has been delayed quite a bit. Yes, I think I've been talking enough. Let's start the video. In this video, we are covering a crocodilian, Lohuecosuchus, although I prefer the pronunciation Lohuecosuchus, as I feel it sounds a bit more Spanish to me, and it rolls off the tongue better. Lohuecosuchus, not Lohuecosuchus. It sounds very anti-Spanish compared to Lohuecosuchus. Anyway, I also apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. As some of you may know by now, language isn't my forte. Fossils of the crocodilian genus have been recovered from the Villalba de la Sierra formation at Lohuecosuchus in central Spain. The best representation is the 32cm long skull and jaws. With its species name, it is composed of the Greek words mega, meaning big, and odon, meaning teeth. This is in reference to how large its teeth were relative to the size of its skull. The only other species of Lohuecosuchus was L. mechinorum. Looking at the endocranium, or the brain case, through a CT scan, it was shown that Lohuecosuchus was able to hear at a low frequency, and had an acute sense of smell. This provides evidence that modern crocodilians would have originated from animals similar to Lohuecosuchus. Lohuecosuchus is the member of the Usuchians, which are an extinct group of crocodilians that lived in the Cretaceous. Furthermore, it was a member of the Allodapsuchidae, a group of crocodilians that were generally found in Cretaceous Europe. Okay, I will admit, I feel something's written wrong back there. So, feel free to correct me in the comments about what the heck this animal actually belonged to. Granted, they are generally crocodiles. I mean, there's probably some minor differences between them, but I don't know. Anyhow, according to the 2021 study by Blanco, he proposed that Lohuecosuchus and another, Allodapsuchid, a Greasuchus, are considered juvenile versions of Allodapsuchus. Not the most information on this animal, but the fact about his brain case was, well, my favourite facts. As you would have guessed, I actually picked this animal as it was found in Spain, where the Paldea region is set in and is perfect for a certain Pokemon that you obviously know what I'm going to talk about, but I won't mention it just to tease you. Anyway, let's see what this big-nosed Spanish crocodile would look like as a Pokemon. As I said, you already know what it's going to be. Partially. Like, a third, quarter. Oh no, I said too much. Fuecoco is laid back and does things at its own pace. It loves to eat and will sprint towards any food it finds with a glint in its eye. External heat is absorbed by the square scales on Fuecoco's stomach and back, then converted into fire energy. These scales are always warm, and at times they can also grow very hot. Flickering atop Fuecoco's head is fire energy that is leaking out from inside the Pokemon's body. When Fuecoco gets excited, its head spouts out more flames. I would say I hope all that fit on the screen, but looking back, there were bigger dex entries than all that. Yeah, I think some of the people know who I'm talking about.
Did you really need to back it out though?
I just thought it would give newcomers to the channel the same approach as I would for any other Pokemon Creations video.
Still, it wasn't necessary.
Okay. Can we just get on to it, please?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry guys.
No problem. Thanks.
It's cool.
Sorry about that. Anyway, here is Fuecoco. This is a starter I'm going with in my Pokemon Violet playthrough, which I do plan to make when the game comes out. Anyway, Fuecoco is so round, cute, and hopefully won't evolve into another anthropomorphic Pokemon like we had in the last generation. Although I'm glad I chose Rillaboom, as it was ironically the least human-like Pokemon out of the 3 starters. I mean, it's a gorilla, but yet a lizard spy and a football rabbit felt more human to me. Of course, with the details, I have copied some of the information, the rest I filled up myself. For starters, the gender ratio I made 50-50, as I feel that it is an overdue feature since I wanted to encourage more players to embrace having a female Pokemon. The egg group is just my guess. For stats, it's fairly bulky and packs a punch but can be slow. For abilities, we obviously have Blaze as is a starter, but I've also given it Flame Body as its hidden ability, as a reference to chili peppers, because obviously when you eat chili peppers they're very hot, and of course when you touch it, yeah. So when a Haunter uses Lick on it, bad move. But yes, let's get to the original stuff. The Fuecoco are somewhat fast runners. They run for hours simply for fun and to release the massive amounts of heat energy absorbed by the producing yellow scales on its shoulders and tail. However, they are not quite as social with other Pokemon, unlike Fuecoco, rearing up and intimidating them with their sharp claws at any other species. Like some kind of a tradition, you have the moody middle stage. I actually made this in reference to the Chinese zodiac, but still considering the crocodilian elements of Fuecoco by looking at the agile looking Capsuchus. However, I feel the lower jaw could have been made wider as, well, it suits the idea of the line being a bit gluttonous, plus it just looks weird. I mean, it's got a big nose but a tiny jaw, that doesn't feel right. Forgive me if some of these designs seem a bit rushed. I do hope to come back to them someday. Anyhow, for stats, Fuecoco is actually quite fast, some decent bulk and offense. For abilities, they remain the same. And that's it. I'm not going to talk about much else. Surprisingly faster. It's one of those evolutions where they could be on it. I wouldn't say Little Cup. Can you get middle? I don't think middle stage evolutions are allowed in Little Cup, are they? I don't know how this would fit into a competitive niche. It's fast, but no, I don't know. Anyway, let's see the Pokemon that everyone's really excited for. Hopefully. The Fuecoco are heavily solitary Pokemon, only tolerating the presence of those who it trusts with its life. They spend most of their time laying on their stomachs, absorbing heat through their large yellow scales, any excess being released through its tail and mouth as spiritual energy. Their sense of smell is incredibly acute, not just with the chemicals, but being able to detect low frequencies as well. Despite their threatening appearance, the Fuecoco love to feast on various fruits, their favourites being the tomato berry. Not perfect, their Fuecoco is still a design I'm proud of. Obviously I was inspired by the Ghost Pepper, but also wanted to incorporate a serpentine appearance in its design, as I thought it would be funny to take the Mick, but also homage the theory of fire type starters being based on the Zodiac. Although in my opinion, Fennekin is actually a fox and not a dog, but I can see why people would force it to be a dog. Heck, I even added bovine horns in reference to the ox, although it can work as a goat too. Oh, and about the correction of the Zodiac thing, Cyndaquil is more of a shrew than a rat. Just saying. Moving away from the Zodiac topic, I also added elements of the hippo as I wanted the Fuecoco to have those really large jaws, and it works with the gluttonous design. And the ghostly elements are aided by the exoplasmic blue of the mouth and tail, which looks similar to those things you burn to appease spirits. What are they called? Kip?
They call them smudging sticks. They are made of herbs such as lavender or white sage. They were once used by certain Native Americans and Canadians to purify or remove negative energy from people or places.
Cheers, dude!
No probs.
Anyway, for stats, their Fuecoco is slow, but has good bulk, but even greater offense, much like a tank. For abilities, they still remain the same. That's it. I don't know. No, you see that new mechanic. I think we would be very disappointed if we didn't get some new forms with the new Terra types. So I thought to at least speculate of how the mechanics may work. So let's have a look. In its crystallized state, Fuecoco's body becomes potent to touch. either absorbing the body heat or spiritual energy of whomever touches its body. Even a slight graze will make a fully grown man pass out for hours. Of course, this is not intentional of the Pokemon, preferring to bathe in the sunlight of the moon or sun, using the spiritual rings in its back to absorb energy. That and smell everything around it, no matter how disgusting. I could not resist making this Pokédex entry dark, but I did still want to make sure Fuecoco is still innocent in its intentions. With this design, I tried to make it look crystal-like, but it wasn't easy. I feel I needed to do some practice before illustrating this, but I still hope I still captured the crystal aesthetic. Anyhow, I noticed how all the crowns of the crystallized Pokemon, and yes, I know it's called Terastalisation, and thought that instead of the crown being on the head, I wanted it to be on the tail, as that's where the spiritual energy is released other than the mouth. Despite it looking like the Quetzalcoatl, I actually looked into the Culebre, as I wanted to include dragon elements in this design, and I had it in my notes, so I thought of something to add. Now, I won't guarantee that this is how the mechanic will work, but hopefully I have made a good attempt at making this fun. For stats, Fuecoco doesn't really gain any stat buffs. However, all moves with stab will do 2 times damage instead of the extra 50%. Instead of changing the type of the Pokemon, I thought to add a type, giving the crystallized Pokemon a 3rd type. Like most people have probably been wanting for years. For example, what you're seeing now is the regular form. However, if we gave it the Dragon Terra type, it is now a Fire Ghost Dragon type. This does not just affect its type, but its abilities too. Of course, what you're seeing here is just the regular form, but they do change depending on the Terra type. I can't think of any on top of my head, but that's where you guys come in. I'm sure you can tell me.
What happens if it's a Ghost or Fire Terra type? Would it be Fire/Ghost/Fire and Fire/Ghost/Ghost? That sounds like a parody of Goose.
Yeah, it does. Well, it could be just that it doesn't gain the types, instead gaining the stab abilities. Also, with a Ghost Terra type, it could change its abilities to Curse Body and something else. Obviously, Fire won't change the abilities. This might seem like a disadvantage, but it does mean less weaknesses. Now, for moves, we have a wide variety, with a new move I made exclusive to the Fuecoco line called Chili Con Curry, which is a powerful move as you can see. Also, I just thought the name was very fun to make. Chili Con Carne, or Khan, and Curry. A little reference to Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I just thought it was very fun. I won't go into too much about the competitive potential, but Fuecoco would be used as a bulky sweeper, which can be helped with sunny day and maybe even eerie terrain. I'm not going over the Terra types, as that is a lot to list. Just consider weaknesses and resistances when getting a Terra type. Oh, and definitely consider stab. Before I show the shinies, I want to just let you guys see some of the appearance changes depending on the Terra type, although you may have seen that with the bio changes. So I'll show you a few. So is again the Dragon type, the Ghost type, the Grass type, the Water type, and the Electric type. Oh, and one more to just trigger some people. I know it's a little bit mean of me, but I know people are a little bit fed up with this. Here's fighting! Okay, I'll change it back to Dragon, because I know everyone likes that bit better. It was difficult to colour this Pokemon while considering the shiny and the similar mechanic to Bond forms, but I think I managed to find that balance. What do you guys think? Please let me know down. You know where. If you're watching on telly, just grab your phone. Like you must have a. If you don't have a YouTube account, then actually you need a YouTube channel, don't you? To comment. Sorry, I'm won't force it on you guys. You can let me know on Twitter as well, or any other socials. I'm happy to listen there. And here are their shinies. Obviously, I wanted to go for the green pepper route, as that's a stark contrast to red, and I wanted to try to make some good green shinies. The adult is based on the cocoa bean. I will admit, with these designs, I took a lot of influence from the Logstin video where he talked about the starters, which explains a lot of the choices I made with the cocoa beans, the ghost pepper and such. But the options he did gave me a lot of freedom to just mess around a bit. Yeah, I'll put the video in the link description below, I don't know, that's a weird way to say it. Maybe at the end of the video, we'll see. As I said at the beginning of this video, I should have made this months ago, so I do apologise for being out the loop, I suppose. But But yes, if you liked this sort of video, then please check out my other content, specifically Pokemon creations. I'll add the playlist link in the eye icon here. Should definitely apply to mobile users, but for television users, you'll find it on my channel. I'll also post the end link at the end of the video, and I'll also put a few links in the description too. Although, please keep this in mind that the earlier videos may be a bit cringy. If you want to support me further, then please consider checking out my social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Although keep in mind that I do have plans to change my branding name in 2023. And if you want to support me even further than that, then please check out my Patreon. Minimum cost is $1 a month, and that basically gives you the option to, well, it gives you the opportunity to vote for most polls, such as thumbnails, which by the way, they're not like deadlined or anything, so you can, if you want to like change the thumbnail, you can just check to see what other options there were, you know. Oh, and of course, you know the typical YouTube stuff, you know, thumbs up, subscribe, bronze on, all that stuff. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video, and in the past, present, or even future, you'll see you there. Goodbye!
Hey dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, doing okay.
To be honest, dude, I'm just absolutely relieved. Ah!
Tell me about it. I feel the same after doing the chores.
It'd be ironic if they, like, released it just as I finish this video.
What you're talking about?
Well, release the details for the start of Pokemon evolutions.
Oh yeah, that would totally suck for ya. But what made ya think that?
Well, because of Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Oh, yeah. Wait, where are the boxes?
Wait, is it still going?
Yeah.
You can go now. It's over. Bye.
Bye, dudes.